Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Sam Love, the Incomplete Set Collector, coming at you from Gary, Indiana, and offering up a book review tonight. I just finished this one yesterday. It's a fantastic book. I think this is one of the most interesting, innovative. It's a book with one of those ideas where you sit there and you go, oh man, why didn't I come up with this one? Although I couldn't have done the journey. The Wax Pack by Brad Balukjian, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. Although if I have not, I'm not going to worry too much because in the book he talks about how sometimes even he mispronounces his own name. It's a great travelogue. It works as a memoir. I mean, it even kind of works as a mystery, the way he goes about tracking down these players, former players, and getting them to speak with him. And, of course, it's a book about baseball. So the premise is he picks up a pack of 1986 Topps, opens it up, and uses the cards that he finds inside as a guide to a road trip, crisscrossing the country, talking to former players about the way they feel about their lives, their playing careers, and what they've done since then. And there's a lot of similarities. Each story is, of course, distinctive. I don't want to go through too much about all that. It's a really good read that I think even if somebody's not a baseball fan, they certainly learn a lot about baseball culture, and even American culture from reading it. And it's very well written. Great use of the compound complex sentence and verb tense all the way throughout. So I read about a chapter or two each night because I could have sit and read it in one day, but I wanted to kind of draw that out a little bit. I wanted to get my own pack of 1986 Topps to open for this video review, but unfortunately my local card shop that I visited the day before the governor's hunker down orders came through, they did not have a pack. So what I've done here instead is pulled cards that I have from my collection that year. And it was not the first year I started collecting. It was '85, but this was the year I really caught the bug. So this is a special set for me. And I've got a few others that I've just picked up, here and there recently, and go through those. So yeah. I think the first thing you notice, those team names pop out. And what I love about the 86 Topps set, the design of the 86 Topps set, is it speaks to what was, I think, the big trend at that time, which was team sets. If you went to a card shop back then, you can still see them today. They still manufacture team sets, in fact, but trying to get your favorite teams, that was kind of the thing, and this design really lends towards that. A lot of people did not like the black corners because if you look at them funny, they get dented. And I was 9 this year, so yeah, I wasn't going to be taking good care of my cards, not at all. But I just think the colors, the team names, and the general simplicity of that border background design, I mean, these were just so attractive. And cards were everywhere that year. Remember taking a family trip, and just every gas station we stopped at and every Walmart that was popping up across Arkansas, they had baseball cards. So to keep me quiet in the car, I got a lot of baseball cards that summer. So yeah, well, let's take a look. So I went through my collection, and of the 15 cards that he pulled, I only have 5 of those. So let's take a look at what I got, and I'll say a couple of things rather than just go through and talk about what the book. Everybody can admire my cat scratches there, by the way. Got a good one right there. It's healed up, but that was pretty painful. So yeah, no, I'll go through and just say a little bit about each player from their chapter. So Richie Hebner, long career. I definitely remember him with the Cubs. How the hell was I ever able to read that? You can see going back to the 60s, and I think his career in baseball went through to 2016. He did a lot of coaching and managing in the minor leagues, and from his playing days up till now, he also works for the family funerary business, so a grave digger. All right, Rance Mulliniks, which was a guy who really stood out because of his name. You know, he did a double take with that one, and he leads off the book. And I mean, he was the easiest one to find because he's a realtor. So Brad just looked his number up in the internet or phone book or whatever, and found him. So, you know, this is a nice opening chapter. You got a guy who, you know, kind of a scrappy underdog player who gets to the World Series at the end of his career in '92 with the Blue Jays. Oh man, I'll tell you, this year getting a Vince Coleman card, I kind of took care of this one a little bit again for a 9-year-old. Brad does not make contact with Vince, and it pops up a number of times in the story that a lot of people think he's a dick. So we'll just move on. The Red Baron. I am going to say right now, from the time I started following the Cubs in 1984, he was one of my favorite players. And after reading this book, I hold him in even higher esteem. I teared up at 2 points in his chapter. I think that was the best chapter in the book. And I think he's one hell of a man. You know, if you ever saw that infamous 87 game against the Padres where Eric Shaw beamed Andre Dawson in the face, and you can find the video on YouTube. I was watching that game live, and that was one of the most intense things I think I've ever seen in terms of like just emotions and violence. And when I lived in Chicago, I saw 3 people get shot to death at 3 different occasions. So yeah, but if you watch the video of that incident in '87, like, Sutcliffe is just fascinating to watch, and he is a bundle of intensity, of rage, but also concern, and you just see those emotions really playing through. I mean, he looks devastated when he's leaning over Dawson, and then when he goes after Shaw, I got to tell you, as a kid watching that, I mean, it was partially horrifying, but it was like really exciting as well. So that's a hell of a baseball saga if you don't know about Eric Shaw. But yeah, Sutcliffe, cool dude. And yeah, the checklist, which is a nice entree into the epilogue of the book. So yeah, check it out. I guess we can't get into stores and Amazon's not delivering books right now, but a lot of indie bookstores still are, so you can just search around the internet for that. You got ebook. I think he's doing an audiobook of it too, so you could check him out. He's at on Twitter as I think it's the Wax Pack. I'll have to look that up because I'm using my phone to film right now. I'll just slap that on at the end. And yeah, I just pulled a few cards of my own that I need to fold in. You know, I have about 450 of the 86 top set, and it's at that weird stage where it's like, you know, if I keep getting more, I always do them in number order, so I gotta keep moving things, and they're so pretty to look at. I want to keep them in books, but at the same time, you know, you can't spend too much time fiddling with baseball cards, so gotta make a decision. I don't have quite enough to put them in numerical order and leave gaps for the ones I gotta get, so we'll see. But yeah, here's some that I need to work into the main set. Britt Burns, remember him with the White Sox? Used to have to watch, you know, the White Sox games were mostly on at night, and I had a TV, little with the UHF, and you had to use the pliers to turn it, so I'd watch the Sox game with the volume low. Usually get caught. His father played. It's almost a unibrow there. Yeah. Oh, that's phenomenal. I'm so glad I got to see him pitch, even if it was just on TV. He's a badass, and that is a fantastic background of Veterans Stadium there. Teak. Part of the We Are Family Pirates. Great team. I love these two, getting these, because, you know, you got to see what the old baseball cards look like. We didn't have the internet back then. So I really like these. I don't have that one. full. Le Grand Orange. I always forget he was with the Mets that year. I mean, look at that. Colt 45s, the Astros, Expos, Mets, Tigers, Expos, Rangers, Mets, going back to 1963. Speaking of the Expos, ooh, there's a Don Mattingly. I like these little team cards too. You got the team leaders. Oh, gum stain. And Marty Barrett, he gets a couple shouts out in the book as well. But yeah, check it out, the Wax Pack. Like I said, even if you're not a baseball fan, I think you'll find it really interesting. A lot of everybody had different trajectories in their lives and careers, but as he points out, baseball players kind of do lead two lives, and with that, there's two deaths. You've got the end of their career, which for just about everybody in the book, excuse me, was something they really had to grapple with. And I think you get the sense that a lot of them haven't fully, worked their way through that. And then, of course, there's the rest of their lives. So, all right. Check it out, The Wax Pack by Brad Balukjian. On the open road in search of baseball's afterlife. And this was your friend Sam Love in Gary, Indiana, the Incomplete Set Collector. Catch you pretty soon. Take care.